Channel message for someone that feels like an outcast or an outsider, someone that feels like they don't fit in with the people around them. I hope that I have found you. So, this channel message came in the form of a dream. Now, as a clairvoyant, I do see with my eyes open, meaning like I see visions, but I seldom have dreams, very, very vivid dreams that have a message behind it that gives wisdom that I need to share. So if you are aligned with me, this message will resonate with you. So basically, in the dream, I was going on vacation with my relatives, okay? Meaning like, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, parents, all of that. So what happened in this dream was that we were going to fly out of the country. And I need to say the country, but the country was Mexico. Okay, I live in the United States. We were flying to Mexico. And what happened is we had flew down to a place that was near Mexico, but was still within the States. It was closer to Mexico. And we were basically at a hotel. And what happened is we ended up staying at that hotel overnight because we were getting ready to take another flight to go from the United States to cross over into the border of Mexico. It was like a 2-day travel thing with our flight because we could not get the flight on the same day. Interesting, but I'm going to go with it. So basically what happens is as we all meet up at the airport that is supposed to take us to Mexico. And we were supposed to be in Mexico for about 5 days. We were going to be in Mexico. Or just out of the country. Like, the country doesn't really matter. It's just basically saying like out the country. Now, if you are planning a trip to Mexico or something like that, then this message is for you. Whatever. Okay, I'll keep going. So basically what happens is in the dream, I'm sitting in the airport and we're getting ready to it's a couple hours before we're ready to board our flight, but we're all in the airport ready to go to Mexico. And basically what happened is I ended up forgetting my luggage at the hotel. I did not have my luggage with me. And I was going to need to basically go back to go grab my luggage and come back. However, in the process of me going back to grab my luggage, I was going to miss the flight. So I was at the front desk and I'm asking, hey, is there a way that I can, change my ticket so I can see if I can get a later flight that goes to Mexico? Is there any way that we can fix the situation? And what happened is there were no other flights that were going to get me to go to Mexico at the same time that my relatives were going. The only flight that they had available was for the day that everyone was supposed to return from Mexico is the day that they found the flight to go to Mexico. So it wouldn't have worked out because it's like by the time I had a flight to go out there, they were coming back. What was the point? So right there, it was kind of like a lost cause, a failed trip on my end because I had forgotten my luggage at the hotel. So what happened is basically in the dream, I had accepted that everyone was going to have to just go on this trip without me. They were going to have to just go on the trip without me. I was going to end up not being able to go with everybody, not leave the country with them, not be able to go on vacation, all because of my mistake. And even though I was trying to get it fixed, it still was not going to work. So in the disappointment, in this dream, this is all a dream. In the disappointment of not being able to go travel with my relatives, I was very upset and I'm wondering, okay, what next? What now? There was just this hint of mystery. And the message from this dream was that I was not meant to go on this trip with this group of people because I do not fit in with this group, and I have outgrown this group. So in alignment with you, your relatives, your family, the people that are in your, circle, you have outgrown those people. You have evolved past those people. You have expanded. You have just evolved into this totally different person than whom you were before. And you all no longer have anything very much in common with your relatives. At some point in time, when you were a different version of yourself, the unhealed version of yourself, you had a lot more in common with them. You were more aligned with them. But now this version of you that you are now, you are not very much in alignment with those people anymore. Because if you were in alignment with them, everything would have worked out and you would have went with them. But because you are no longer in alignment, you're having to go your separate ways. So it's symbolic of you having to go your separate ways from these people, these relatives, these family members that you have outgrown, that you no longer fit in with. Because even if you would have gone on, just put yourself into the perspective of, yes, it was me in the dream, but put yourself in my shoes as if this was your situation, this was your family, your relatives, and you were getting ready to go on this trip out the country with your relatives. You had forgotten your luggage and you were no longer able to go. If you would have gone on that trip with those people, you wouldn't have had a good time. You would have felt very outcasted. You would have felt very ostracized. You would have felt like an outsider. You would have felt like you didn't fit in. You would have felt like you didn't belong. You would have felt very, very out of place. You would have not enjoyed yourself because your presence would not have been warmly welcomed. Your presence would not have been appreciated. Your presence would have just been tolerated. So it was God's protection from you going on that trip, where God had to literally sever any type of way, to put road blockages in any type of way for you to go on that trip, so that it was a complete no. No, you're not going. No, there's no other way around it. It's a lost cause. You're not going. God basically made the executive decision for you to not go on this trip because God did not want you to be there and for you to be treated like a square. Like, be there or be square. God did not want you to be treated like a square while you were there. Right, okay. God did not want you to be in an environment where you're here to have fun, here to have a good time, and you're just feeling so out of place, so unwelcomed, just feeling as if these people don't really like you, don't really care for you, they're not very genuine with you. You would have had a horrible time. So God had to make it a certain way where you don't even know how you forgot your luggage, but somehow you forgot it. Because sometimes God will orchestrate things for us and will kind of move in our spirit and in our body to have us do certain things so that certain things don't work itself out because God is blocking it. So God kind of orchestrated you forgetting your luggage so that you would have a reason to not go. God also orchestrated it for there to not be another flight for you to catch, for you to even go to begin with. So God orchestrated it where you weren't going to go on this trip with these people because you would have been treated so horribly. And this is symbolic that you are going your separate ways from your family. You are no longer aligned with them anymore because the version that you are now, you are entering into an era and phase of your life where your family, your relatives are going to be your soul family, your soul relatives, your soul tribe, people that are more connected on a soul, not a fleshly blood connection. Because all skin folk ain't kinfolk. You're going to be around more of your kinfolk. So this is your confirmation that it is okay for you to part ways from your family, from your relatives, because that ship has sailed. That phase of your life is over. Welcome to the new.